All right. So what I'm saying is that in the grammar of graphics, what we mean by grammar of graphics? Well, it's the grammar as we use is used over here. It's a set of guidelines, okay, for how to combine components, okay, to create new things, okay. So we've seen grammar as in English language or Tree or any other language or have some grammar. Okay. So it's the same concept that is being used here. Okay. So usually maybe for English you have subject, verb, nouns and so forth. You combine all these together to form a sentence. So it's the same way that we are going to treat data visualization. So what constitutes the grammar over here? So the data visualization, in data visualization contains the following. Okay, so A, we have the data. Okay, so what do we mean by the data here? So this is, if we are preparing, let's say, a dish, that will be the base of our dish. Okay, so here it is typically a data frame, right? So for example, data.frame, a data.frame object that will be used. So whatever we are plotting is the data. Hey, Nanaya, the boy wants to learn division. Stop that thing. Don't use my laptop to be playing. Now, go to Mass Antics for him to say, hey, Richard, come and put the tab down. You say I should charge. We are charging for you. Then you come and take it away. Mass Antics, and when we are going home, then you can play. Okay, so yeah, so the data that we are going to deal with or we want to display is what we'll refer to as data in the graphics. Then B, we have what we call aesthetics, right? I am putting this in bracket. It is one word, but when we call the object, we are going to use those three letters. Okay, so together we call it the aesthetics. Okay, so what are these? So this is the mapping, right? This is the mapping of the parts of the data to chart components. Right? So for example, if let's say I want to I'm plotting, let's say, the profit as against the selling price, then it means that if price is on the x-axis, okay, that's an aesthetics, okay, and then the y will be on what? Y, which is the profit, will be on the y-axis. So that's what we mean by the aesthetics. Okay. Now, then we have also the geometry. So here too, we will use the geom. So when we are using ggplot2, we will use the geom. So the geom, geo means geometry. So what does this refer to? So these are the actual visualization. So the specific visualization. So the specific visualization. So example, you have, let's say, bar chart, right? So, or let's say box plot and so forth. So that's the geometry. Please, you can stop me anytime if you want to ask a question.
Okay. Sure, please. Sure, please.
All right. Then D, we have the stats. So I put this one to statistical. So statistical transformation. So here it talks about how the data should be transformed or aggregated before visualizing. Okay. So sometimes you want to do something to the data before. So for example, let's say you want a plot, but you want a transformation of the data before it is plotted. So that's it. So how should the data be transformed or aggregated before visualization? So transform or aggregated of data for visualization. Visualization. All right. And then lastly, we can have team. So the team is, so here you ask the question, how do you want the chart to look and feel? Okay, so the teams will help us to get like backgrounds and so forth, colored and what have you. Okay, now so usually the first three are usually the required. Okay, so A, B, C, D are requirements. So A to C are required, but C and D, D, E are optional, right? D and E are optional. So that, the statistical transformation is not every time you transform. And the team, you can use the default ones. So basically that's it. Okay. Please, any question? Okay. So
No, sir.
I'm going to go through the what do we call it? I'm going to use the cheat sheet just for us to go through what this is. Okay. So I'm now going to share my moment. Let me now share the cheat sheet. You can download it if you. So there it is, like this. Okay. So if you come here, what I have illustrated is the same thing you see over here. So the basis. So ggplot2. Remember, we are going to use the ggplot2. It's based on what? The grammar of graphics. The idea that you can actually build every graph from the same component. A data set, a coordinate system, and geoms, right? those give visual marks that represent the data point. So here you see our data is of rectangular shape. Remember we talk about the data as what, like a data.frame object. Then you have the geom. Okay, so x is equal to f, y is equal to a. Okay, there will also be some coordinate system, and then if you put them together you get what, the plot. Okay, to display the values, okay, you map variables in the data to visual properties of the geom. Okay, these are called the aesthetics, like the color, the size, and x and y locations, right? So let's look at this. So when you take the data, okay, the data will be, you have the geometry. So x is equal to f, y is equal to a, color is equal to f size a. Then you have some coordinate system. You put them together, you say you have plot like this. Okay, so we can complete the template by building a graph. So remember that the previous one in the base R, we just how do I put it? We just write one function. We use it to create our graph. Here we're going to build it. So the first one, let's say you get the data, then you can add some geom function to it, which is the mappings, right? So you take some aesthetics, you map it, you can take some stats, remember the statistics, some transformation, positions, and so forth. You can get coordinate functions, but you see, not required, okay? Sensible default supply. So all these things, the teams function that we talked about, scale, facet, and so forth, these are all additions, but by default, I will just give some default values. But these are the key things, okay? Those are the required ones, and that's what I said previously. Okay, so we're going to look at this. So you can copy. So in this case, we are not going to type. Just copy this, okay? And then let's go to R. So everybody should copy that. And then we're going to go to R. Okay. So here, it will just begin a plot. We won't see anything. So copy it, go to R and paste it. Okay, when you paste it, you run it. But you must first of all, you must load the package ggplot2. Okay, so we need ggplot2 to do this. So ggplot2, take it, okay, and then once that is done, you have this. Then what I want you to do is that you run this. Okay, so you see this actually plots the highway. So we can check the data, MPG, question mark MPG, and MPG is what? It's in the ggplot2 package. So if you don't load that package, there's no way you will get access to that data, right? So fuel economy data from what? 1999 to 2008 for 38 popular models of cars. So when you come, it's a data frame consisting of what? 234 rows and 11 variables. The manufacturer, the model, the displacement, the year, the number of cylinders, the type of transmission, dry, which is the DRVs, or the type of drivetrain, whether it's front wheel, rear wheel, and 4WD, and so forth. Then CTY, so city miles per gallon. So HWY is for highway miles per gallon. So here you are comparing city miles per gallon to what? Highway miles per gallon. Okay. And then you do this. So basically this just gives you what? The plot like this. Just the environment. It will not. What? It's okay. Alright. So it will just give you that background. But now we can add on. Right? We can add on to it and so forth. Okay. So let's just follow what is in the test. Okay. So there's also the what we can do is that you can add on. What do you add on? So for example, here in this case we want points, right? Okay, so if it is a scatter diagram, I can just add, let's say, the geom point to it, right? And then I'm going to get the scatter or dot plot and so forth. Okay, so basically we've given the aesthetics, but we haven't done anything like the points that you need to do it. Okay, so either point or any graph that we want. So that's the next thing we have to do. Please, is everybody okay with it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. But we also, if we want to follow the other one, we'll come back to this, or let's say, let's just get some one or two points, and then after that we can go back to the graph. Okay. So usually you can, as I said, you can add on. Okay, so if we are adding on, it depends. What do we want to do? Okay, what is it? We can also take this, we can assign this as an object, right? So for example, let's say I want this to be D, so I can just run this. You can't do this in the Bezier, but here I can do this. So D is assigned this. Okay, it means that I can take D and let's say plus geom, okay, underscore let's say point like this. Okay, so I'm adding on, and there we go. Okay, so this is a geom. Okay, that helps us to put in the point that we want to do. There are others that you can also look out for. So it can be geom blank. We can get a line to it and so forth. Okay, but basically what we are saying is that the ggplot will help you to get the data. Okay, you can pass in your data, you can pass in the aesthetics. Okay, the aesthetics will now help you to get what? Your coordinates like x, y. Okay, and then you can now use your geometry to add on to anything that you want to add on to. Okay, so we will come back to this and start each of them. So if I want to get a bar plot, what do I use? If I want to get a box plot, what do I use? And so forth, just like we did for the basic ones. Okay, now we also have the basic one. Okay, so so this is like a wrapper. So we have what we call kill plot. Okay, so kill plot is in ggplot too, but it's just like a wrapper between going fully. So it sits at the intersection of going fully ggplot2 and the base are. Okay, so what we have done here I can also just use Q plot, okay, so which is just like, let's say, the plot, okay. So if I do this, I want to do this so that we check the health file. So there it is. So Q plot, you have X and Y, okay. So what is my X and Y? I can come here and copy those ones, okay, and put it here. All right. So yeah, you just do this. So the Q plot, and then your data. So data is equal to what? This is from what? MPG, right? So you put it there, MPG. All right. Okay. So with this, we can now begin to, and then what? So if I do just this alone, I still get my graph, but of course it is telling me that, oh, warning, this one. So you can also do your geom. We can warning while this one, when we say deprecated in ggplot2, it means it's like it's being phased out, if I should put it that way. Okay, so I can also call my geom in this. Okay, so geom equal to, and then in this case, what do I want? I want points. So I can write point over there, or point. Okay, so if I do this, I get my graph like that. Okay, so you see this one does not differ from the plot, okay, because I could take the K off, and then of course geom will not, because it doesn't satisfy this. But if I want to go fully in the base, the base are, what I need to do is that X will now be what? MPG, like this, and then this one will be MPG, and then you select what? Highway, like that. I don't need the data in there, and I don't need the geom point. Okay, so I can do this, and there we have it, right, and so forth. Okay. Oh, sorry, I was still using qplot. I wanted to use plot. So you see, this is it. This is the full base R1, okay, and then you have the ggplot mpg1, okay, like that. Okay. Yeah, hello. Moi menu. Me wa campus ya de. Into it ma ba. This all train me. Okay, all right. Okay, near me ba. All right. Okay. Here, okay. That's right. Okay. So basically that's it. Okay. All right. What else do we have to talk about? So that's the base, and then if you want to go fully ggplot2, then you use the ggplot command. What the ggplot does is that it helps you to now what? Be able to add on to your graph. Okay. So let's look at the second part. If you look at the second column, okay, it talks about graphical primitives, right? Okay, so I'm still using this one, the second. So look at the second column. Okay, so there it talks about A, and A is assigned what? ggplot, right? Okay, and then you have economics. So economics, so we could have just said that data is equal to economics. So economics is also a data set in ggplot2. Okay, and then you have your aesthetics. Okay, so your aesthetics X is equal to date, what you know, and then Y is equal to unemployed. Unemployed. You can copy. I am typing, but you can copy. Okay. Now, what this means is that if you take economics, so for example, head economics, this is it. So you see it has a table of what? 6 by 6. Your PC unemployed is this one, okay? And then the date is here. Okay. So I can just run this A. Okay. So this gives me, I can also run, so it means that this A, I can run it on its own like this. If I run it, it will generate a blank sheet for me. Okay, so this is an object. It's an object of ggplot2. In the Bazel, you can't do that, right? Okay. So when I take A, now I can begin to add on anything that I want to do. Okay. So for example, let me take let's say this is time series, but let's try geom point, which will be quite easy. Geom point like that and see. So there it is. Okay. So I can add on. I can put on a straight line, this and so forth. So if you look at the, you can practice through with the others over there. Okay. So what you do is that you just copy and paste, and then you see what is going on with each of them. Okay. So basically that's how you can go through the ggplot2. It's self-study, if you ask me. It's not once. That's why we've gone through the Bazel. So this one is not quite difficult to follow. So the first one that I did is a primitive one. The second one, so we did this. B is seals. So there's also seals data. You have X longitudinal and latitude. So this is about seals and how they work, as and so forth. So you can look at it if you copy this. So this one is geom path. You should get something like this, and then you check whatever is. So if you want polygons, something like that, rectangular stuff, geom ribbon, you can get it this way. Okay. If you come down here, you have line segments, right? Okay. So B plus what? If you want lines, it means you use geom AB line. So if it is AB line, I did not talk about this. In the Bazel, we can actually do AB line. So AB line will just, we can do V for vertical and H for horizontal. So when we have a graph, we can actually input in that. And then you can have a line. Okay, so H line, geom H line will be horizontal line. And then V line will also be what? A vertical line. So whatever you have in the Bazel, you have its component in the ggplot2. You can also have segments as well, spoke, and so forth. So you just explore some of these things. Then if you have one variable, continuous, remember MPG is the data. This is highway, right? So only one. So I can, my C is only this variable. C2 is the whole ggplot MPG. So when I take C, I add area start bin. It's just, under normal circumstance, C, if I plot it, is going to just give me what? A scatter plot. And it takes each value and use the index to arrange it. Once I add geom area to it, it's going to take the frequency or the height of each of them and do it like that. And of course, you can color. If you want to color, you can fill it and so forth. If I want geom density, it's going to create a density curve for me. If I have geom dot plot, remember we talked about dot plot, it's going to give me something like this. Frequency polygon is going to join them like that. Okay. Geom underscore histogram is going to give me this way. geom QQ plot, which is quantile plot. Okay, it's going to give me this as against, in this case, will be a normal distribution and so forth. Okay, if I have a discrete variable, then I can talk about this is qualitative variable. So here we have quantitative variable, which what that's what is being called continuous, right? When you come here, you are looking at what the qualitative variable. So if I take D is GG plot FL is basically, let me see if I go to the help file. FL is full type. So you see that it's qualitative, right? Okay. So when we come to the full type, then I can use bar plot to do it. So all I want you to do is that just pick each of these, and once you understand the concept, that's it. You will see how each of these plot looks like. Then, so now you have one continuous variable, one categorical variable. Then you come to two variables. If we have two variables, then we need a scatter plot, right? Okay, so there we go. And that's what we did earlier. So MPG, aesthetic, city, and highway. Then you can add on labels, okay? We can add labels. You can have the jitter graph. You can have the points. You can have quantiles, ragged, the smooth will give you smooth curves, which usually linear models, as it is saying. Geom test, we can add test to anywhere we want, okay? Then what if you have discrete x and continuous y? Like the case where we use the box plot and we have categories. So each of them you construct a box plot. That's it, okay? So here we can have f and geom core, okay? Something which will give us, if we want box plot, f times or geom box plot, we are going to get our box plot like that, okay? You have dot plots this way, violin plots, and so forth. So we can go on. But the key thing is that you just need to know the structure or the grammar of this, and then the rest, you don't need anybody to, help you to understand it. So discrete, then you can only talk about like the contingency tables, right? If you have a contingency table like that, what do? So you can use count, and then the larger it is, the more you have observations within that group, or more frequency, right? And so forth. Okay, if we have three variables, we can get the contour lines to help us, and so forth. So basically, when you have this, that the cheat sheet is quite popular because it's quite, it helps you to grasp the GG plot to at a glance. When you have bivariate distributions, we can also find it like this: densities, heat. You can get heat maps, okay, and a whole lot. Okay, so I don't want to spend so much time on this. My objective was to help you to understand the basis of this, the grammar. What do we mean by the grammar? And the key thing of using GG plot to where you just get plots, and then you can add on and on and on and on and on and on. So it's just like the pipes that we did. Okay, so we can treat maps. So for example, if you are in the geography settings or spatial statistics, spatial, really ggplot integrates into maps quite easily, okay, that you can use. You can go to the tidyverse, ggplot to tidyverse organization. You have so many examples in there. When you finish with the first one, you can come to the optional ones, okay? So you see stats. What can you do with the stats? Examples will be given, okay? Bins and so forth. And so forth. Before, from start, you go to what the scales. What are the scales? Okay, we can put some of these scales, get them done, and then the last one, the coordinate system, and even the faceting. Okay, and so forth. Okay, so just go through this and how to add legends, what have you. They are very simple to go through it at your own leisure time and so forth. So, as I said, I don't want us to get so mad because people will be traveling and so forth. We couldn't even have most of our people joining us. So, let it be brief so that we can close here. But I'll share this on your platform as well so that those who were absent can look at it and be able to go through it. I'll take some more elaborate examples and work through it with some specific data set and record it and send it to you as well. And I'll make available your assignment so that you can do it and then present it next week.
Thank you very much.
So that will be all from me for now.
Thank you very much.
Any question, please?
No question.
All right, okay. All right. Thank you. So I'll put the video on your platform, then you can